Hello, friends. Welcome to Social Studies. So now that we finished our travel around the world and holidays around the world, we're going to go back to kind of switching every couple of weeks. We'll do social studies for a little bit and then we'll do science for a little bit. Okay? So this week, we're going to learn all about a special man that lived in our country. His name is Dr. Martin Luther King. And yesterday, on Monday, there was no school because it was a day to remember Dr. Martin Luther King and everything he did for our country. So let's learn a little bit about Martin Luther King and what we're going to do today. Okay, so this is a little book about Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. grew up during a time when African Americans were not treated equally because of the color of their skin. We all have different color of skin, some light, some dark. But when Martin Luther King grew up, he was not treated fairly because of it. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted to make a change. He led protests and gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Thank you, Martin Luther King Jr. Now we can be friends with other people, no matter what color their skin is. Okay, so let's learn a little bit more about Martin Luther King Jr. There we go. Okay, so Martin Luther King Jr. was a civil rights activist who wanted equal rights for all people. In 1929, when Martin was born, African Americans were not treated equally, just because of the color of their skin. Martin grew up being segregated and treated unfairly because of his skin color. We'll learn what some of these big words mean in a minute. Martin Luther King Jr. did not think this was right and wanted to make a change. Martin Luther King Jr. became a minister. He led protests and gave speeches in front of large crowds of people. Martin Luther King Jr. wanted people to be judged for who they were as people and not for the color of their skin. He gave his famous "I Have a Dream" speech in 1963, and a bill was passed the next year. A bill is another word for a law. So a law was passed the next year to end segregation. Martin earned the Nobel Peace Prize for helping the world become more peaceful. Hey friends, so we are going to learn a little bit more about Dr. Martin Luther King. We're going to do the same thing we did holidays. You'll see a Bitmoji classroom. Choose 2 things that interest you that you want to watch. Comment in Google Classroom, tell me what you watched or listened to. And then we're going to work on a writing. So I'll have another video to kind of show you how to do it. We're going to work on typing. So we've been doing a lot of writing lately, and we need to work on typing as well at school. So we'll do some typing. Okay, so next go to the Bitmoji classroom, choose 2 things that interest you about Martin Luther King, and then come back to the slides and we'll work on our typing together. I'll show you what to do. Okay, friends? See you soon.